Hi everyone, I'm Anne-Marie with the Jefferson County Health Department, Public Health Preparedness Department. What we're going to talk about today is how to keep your car prepared for the winter in the event that we run into any kind of inclement weather. Some tips and tricks before we get started with what would be a really good arrangement of things to keep in your car. So the first thing is you want to check your tires at least once a month for air pressure. As the weather gets hotter and colder, they will inflate, they will deflate, and you just want to make sure you have the right amount of pressure in your tires. That's going to make driving safer, especially if there's any ice or snow that would come down. On the inside of your driver's side door, there's a panel that tells you what the proper PSI for your tires in your car should be. So take a look at that and just check them about once a month. You also want to check your battery. When it gets colder, your car requires more juice from that battery to get started. So you'll see a lot of cars dying whenever it's cold outside. So every time you get an oil change, ask them to check your battery, have them check your tires, and then have them fill up all of the fluids inside of your car. So those are just some basic tips and tricks to get started before you even hit the road. You also want to make sure your windshield wipers are working and that you can see if there's any kind of rain or snow coming down. With that said, I want to go over some items that I would make a suggestion you keep in your car during the winter months. One of the things we always want to be careful about is if we're caught in an emergency situation. So maybe you're driving somewhere and we've had a bunch of snow come down, or there's been an accident and it's really cold outside. We want to make sure you stay safe in your vehicle until that area could be cleaned and you could get out of there, get to safety, or until first responders could get to you. So some things to keep in mind is you always want to keep some kind of a reflective triangle or something of this nature in your vehicle. That way, if you do have to pull over, say you get a flat tire or there's some kind of an accident, you can pull over and put this out about 100 feet or so away from the back end of your car to alert people that you were there. Turn your flashers on as well. Something else I keep is a rain poncho. And all of my stuff I have in this little kit that I bought online for about 40 bucks. So you can go get any kind of a kit with as much stuff as you want in it. But this is just the one that I bought for myself. So there's a rain poncho in here. I also have an emergency vest. When it is snowing or icing, if you are stuck on a road during snow or ice and you slide off the road, the worst and most unsafe thing you can do is get out of your vehicle. You're exposing yourself to be hit by somebody else who could possibly slide into you with no protection around you. What you'd want to do in that situation is you'd want to call 911 and ask for help, and you want to stay inside your car if at all possible. Staying in your car keeps you away from the elements and it keeps you safe if another car potentially crashes into you. If you have to get out for any reason, put some kind of a vest on, something so people know you were there. I also have a flashlight. This one is a hand presser. You can get some that crank. You can get a battery operated one. Just make sure you check and change those batteries often. For me, I also have a set of hot hands, just in case I get pulled over and don't want to run out of gas in my car. This is a glow stick that I would keep and I would be able to wave around or throw out onto the road to let somebody know that I'm there. Jumper cables are huge. Keep those in your car no matter what the season is. You never know when you're going to need them to get your battery going. I also have a little shovel that comes apart and goes into a little pouch. What the shovel can do is if my tire is stuck in some kind of snow or ice, I can use it to chisel it out and give myself some traction. Along with that, inside my bag, I also have a bag of kitty litter that you can throw down once you've kind of shoveled all of that junk out of there. Throw your kitty litter down to give yourself traction to get your car pulled out of wherever you're at. I also have some safety gloves, so that way if you have to touch any chemicals or anything that might be hot, you won't get hurt. This allows me to cut my seatbelt or to hit and break my window if I'm trapped inside my vehicle. So this stays up front with me and it stays in my center console. I obviously have a windshield wiper scraper. I've got an emergency blanket and then a tow strap. Something else is always make sure you keep phone chargers in your car, so that way you can charge your phone, make sure you have access to messaging. Hopefully you will have service, and you can send out some kind of an alert if you didn't have service. I also have a whistle that stays in mine, so I could notify somebody if I'm maybe down an embankment and somebody can't see me. Inside my bag, I keep an extra coat. I keep snacks, and I will legitimately keep a box of unopened cereal in my car. There's nothing worse than getting stranded on the road in the middle of Missouri and you have nowhere near you that you can get some food and you get hungry. Nobody wants to be in the car with you if you get hangry. Let's see, I also keep gloves and an extra hat. And then I keep a blanket. So this for me is, it rolls up, it stays nicely. I keep it in my car all year round. It's a nice picnic blanket too if you're in a park. And then you also want to keep a map. If you run out of cell phone service, if a tower goes down, but you need help figuring out where you're at, keep a map with you. And then most importantly, keep a first aid kit. And here I have some gauze. I have some 2x2 like gauze pads. I have rolling gauze so that I can apply pressure, band-aids, just your essentials. And I just keep everything in this bag in the back of my car during the winter. During the rest of the months, I'll take out all of the winter stuff, but some of these things should be in your car all the time. One other thing to think about when you're traveling, no matter when it is, but especially during the winter months, is who's going to be in the car with you. And also think about what are your own needs. I have a child with disabilities, so whenever I travel with him and there's any hint that we could have any kind of inclement weather where we might get stranded, there might end up being a wreck or create traffic, I will always take his extra medications with me just to be sure, because he has medications that if he didn't take them could harm him. So think about if you're traveling with somebody who has a lot of medications or some very specific medical needs. Maybe they have diabetes, maybe they have whatever it may be. Just make sure you plan for that in advance and take those extra supplies with you. And also if you're traveling and you're traveling with pets, make sure you're taking extra food, making sure you're taking a bowl for water for your pets as well. And in any circumstance, always take extra blankets for the amount of people that are in your car. So if you have a teenager who doesn't like to wear a coat, even if they don't want to wear it, make them put them in the car. But those are some other things to think about, is who are you traveling with and what things will they need that could potentially affect their health and their safety if you didn't have them, if you got stranded. So those are my tips and tricks for you today for preparing for the winter and staying safe out there.